Alright everyone, what is up here today YouTube? Jigsaw0097 making a quick video. This is just a real quick one here because I'm a little irritated with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. In just a couple days we've got the All or Nothing Amazon Prime special, which I cannot wait to watch. Stay tuned, I will be giving my full review on that show when it comes out. I gotta work this weekend, but like the beginning of next week, I'm gonna be like blowing through that, possibly even on Sunday. So by like Monday or Tuesday of next week, I will give my thoughts on that. But this has to do with the Eagles hiring, guys. As I've said before, one of the big reasons I've been so quiet about the Eagles recently is because, in my opinion, they've done nothing that even warrants discussion, in my opinion. They still haven't gotten rid of anyone. You know, Nelson Aguilar's still on the team. They're saying they're going to move on from Alshon Jeffrey. There's all these teams making moves, and the Eagles are again doing nothing, which is really, it's not a good sign, guys. In my opinion, it's not a good sign. The Eagles are known to be a very active team in free agency and coach hirings and all that, and they've just been very stagnant ever since the Super Bowl. They have just been resting on their laurels, and I don't know what's going on. But the real irritating thing here for me is that they've announced basically that Doug Peterson is going to remain the offensive coordinator, which this was the big criticism, guys. I was criticizing this along with many other Eagles fans on YouTube and on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever. I would say like 80% of Eagles fans that I've talked to think that the Eagles should have hired an offensive coordinator that wasn't named Mike Groh. You should have fired Mike Groh like they did, which is really funny because Mike Groh is actually on the Colts now. I read that today. So I don't know what the heck Frank Reich is thinking with that one. But that was the biggest criticism, is that you wanted to go out and you wanted to find someone. You know, there was like rumors of like Jay Gruden coming here, but you know, that doesn't matter now, guys, because Doug Peterson is the guy, okay? He's the one that won the Super Bowl, guys. He came up with the Philly special. It's all Doug Peterson. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this team right now, and they're really starting to bother me. They really are. You know, you got a guy like Carson Wentz who he's basically been injured 3 of his 4 seasons. And I see an Andrew Luck situation, guys. I really have nothing against Wentz at this point. You know, the concussion wasn't his fault, but they're just not surrounding him with what he needs. They're wasting time. They really are. They're wasting time. You know, this season is going to be huge for me. Huge! Because if the Eagles fail on this front, I don't know what the future of this coaching staff looks like. I mean, do you fire Doug at that point? Because in my opinion, him announcing that he is the coordinator is similar to Chip Kelly saying that he wanted full control. And Jeffrey Lurie is once again saying, go do it. The difference here, obviously, is that Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. But I don't see any differences other than that. You know, the Eagles have a trend of doing this. Now, they're obviously not cutting Howie Roseman out this time, but for them to bring Doug in twice, because I've already heard that he wanted this to be the case before, and you know, it's becoming really apparent now that maybe Mike Groh was just a yes man. Maybe he just was like never doing anything to begin with. So it's like, why were we even mad at him? You know, he was doing what he does best, nothing. You know, the only time, and this is another thing, they won the Super Bowl, guys, but that was with Frank Reich. And it's like, we don't even know how much that actually impacted. You know, you had Frank Reich, you had John DeFilippo. We don't know how much that actually impacted now, but this year is really going to be huge, guys. I would be watching the Eagles with some very heavy criticism and skepticism. You know, and I'm not saying this to be, you know, a Negladelphia fan. This is just it's the definition of insanity, guys. It's where you do the exact same thing over and over again and you expect different results. The Eagles won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but for 2 straight years now, they have fallen short in the regular season. 2018, they got into the playoffs because of a Vikings loss to the Bears, and then we beat the Bears because of a double doink. And then this past season, we ran the table against arguably the worst teams in the NFL just so that Carson Wentz could get a concussion in the playoff game and get no experience. So this is what we're dealing with here. They didn't value Nick Foles, so we don't have a solid backup anymore. I'm reading again that Josh McCown might get a coaching spot. Deuce Staley might get it. Again, they're all they're doing is hiring internally. Now, I did read they're bringing in a former Broncos offensive coordinator, Rich. Sorry, I wrote his name down. Rich Scangarello. I hope I said his name right, but no news if he's the offensive coordinator. They're just saying they're bringing him in. So, to me, it just means Doug is kind of going through this power trip. He's going through this Chip Kelly-ish, mentality where he thinks that he is the one that's going to do this, and he just needs advisors. He doesn't need people that have a position. He needs advisors. And I don't see this as a long-term plan for success, guys. I don't. I think you need a good staff. You need a good team. This goes with anything in life, okay? If you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself by people that are like-minded but will also challenge you. You can't just have yes men. You need people that will challenge you. And that's really what I think Frank Reich and John DeFilippo did, I think there was a lot of times in 2017 where Doug wanted to do this, and Frank Reich maybe said, hey, you know what, Doug, maybe we don't do that. And even Frank Reich admitted it. They talked to Carson Wentz that year saying, if you keep running around like this, you're going to get injured. And he did get injured. So this is what's happening now, is that, they're resting on their laurels. This is easily the worst thing that could have come from the Super Bowl. And I didn't think it would happen, but this is scary for the future of the Eagles, guys. So anyway, I've ranted on long enough. I just wanted to really get that off my chest. A big reason why I haven't been making tons of videos is because I'm watching and waiting for something to happen, and so far nothing is happening. And then I read this news today. It was announced on the NFL app, so this is pretty much official that Doug Peterson is just going to be the offensive coordinator in 2020. And I don't like it, guys. I don't like it. It's even going to be worse because now that they fired Mike Groh, there's no scapegoat this time. So if Doug Peterson flops, which, I'm going to be real, guys. I don't think there's going to be much differences to the offense. It's going to be the same crap. Because if he's the offensive if he's running the plays like he pretty much was with Mike Groh, nothing's going to change, guys. This is just going to make Doug Peterson expose himself. This is what happened with Chip Kelly. I remember in Chip we trust. That was a bunch of crap, and I knew it back then. And Chip Kelly really just fell flat on his face in 2015. He was fired before the season ended. Now again, I reiterate, Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. That's the huge difference here. But he did that with a competent staff. A staff that was not afraid to tell him no, He had a backup quarterback named Nick Foles that went and won the Super Bowl for him. He had Torrey Smith. He had so many things. LeGarrette Blount, which, if I remember correctly, they didn't even use LeGarrette Blount until the Chargers game. And again, I'm pretty sure Doug or Frank Reich or someone sat Doug down and said, listen, dude, you got to run the ball. So this is what I'm saying. You need outside minds. You need someone to check you. This is life. Checks and balances. So, I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. I just give my honest thoughts on this channel. I really just, I can't just get up here and say I feel happy about the Eagles all the time, because there's a lot of times I don't feel happy about them. And this last 2 or so years ever since the Super Bowl, I just see the downward trend. And, you know, who knows? This is the NFL. You know, the 49ers got to the Super Bowl and they were losers for 5 years. So you never know. But I just don't see this as a promising sign, and we've got the draft to look forward to and all these things, but right here, in my mind, this already sets the Eagles up for potential failure, and I don't like it. They should have went out. They should have searched for an offensive coordinator. You know, Jim Schwartz is fine as the DC. I just think that they needed to bring someone else in. I think they promoted Press Taylor to like a wide receiver position, which is fine. You know, that stuff is fine. But it's like you need a good quarterbacks coach, you need a good special teams, you need a good offensive coordinator, and you need a good defensive coordinator. I'd say the Eagles have 2 of the 4. They have good special teams, they have good defense, but they need an offensive coordinator. They really do need a quarterbacks coach for Carson Wentz, too. They need that so bad I can't even stress. Like, John DeFilippo was out there for them to bring back, and they didn't do it. So I don't understand this. I don't understand what their mentality is. Again, Carson Wentz's clock tick, tick, tick every day. I think the guy's going to be 28 this year. You know, Patrick Mahomes has already won a Super Bowl. He's 24 years old. Where the heck is Carson Wentz even at right now with that? And I don't see, again, I'm not saying this to blame Wentz. I just don't see a staff that's putting him in a position to succeed. I just don't see it. So, rant over, guys. I could go on for 20 minutes about this and just repeat myself over and over and over again. But I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. Also, if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. To all my returning viewers as well, make sure that you are actually subscribed because the YouTube algorithm sucks. And that you also hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I make videos or rants or whatever you want to call these. But with that said, guys, this has been Jigsaw0097. I will talk to you all later.